Hey there, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about 5 basic steps to building a successful funnel that sells. I've been building funnels for almost 5 years now, so I have been through it all. Whether you are starting by blending a bunch of softwares like Squarespace and MailChimp and Samcart, or if you have kind of an entire system that's already built around this kind of a process like ClickFunnels, Kajabi, or Kartra. This is going to help you understand a little bit more of the flow and understand how I've personally built out my funnels in case you're interested in doing something similar. So before we get started, like I said, I've been building these forever. I have done all kinds of different funnels, usually, quizzes, master classes, webinars, templates, going into tripwires, going into email sequences. And I think the most important thing to start with here is that you need a funnel. You might say, oh, Michelle, I've been doing it for years without a funnel. And that's fine. But if you're going to be going into a visibility vehicle like we talk about here, and like I discussed in the lounge, this is the way to get that predictable traffic, which turns into subscribers, which turns into revenue. Even if you are a one-on-one coach and you're like, Michelle, I don't really need a funnel. I just book clients off of sales calls. You can create a funnel around booking those sales calls on autopilot. And it's also really important for you to build your list and to have this going because let's say you guest on a podcast, they're going to ask if you have an Optin you want to promote, and it's not going to be really cute if you say, oh, well, just have them book a call with me or just have them go to my homepage. That does not translate into subscribers and sales. So that's why I wanted to talk to you about this today, talk a little bit more on the tech side, just so that we can get this straight because it's going to make your visibility and publicity journey so much easier. I can't tell you how many people when they first start in the lounge, and this isn't their fault, this is what we've been taught in the industry, do not have a funnel. And they're like, well, I want to get visible and get publicity. It's like, you got to do this first. So this is going to be a really great video to walk you through that. So the first thing is start with your product, not an experiment. I know industry standard says you don't have to create your course or your bundle or your package, just try it and see if it sells and then create it later. This can be a little stressful when you're building a funnel because you at least want to have it outlined and built out for the most part. If you're doing like a group program or something, you could always deliver the material on a weekly basis. That's fine. But if it's going to be a course that they're going to be able to get immediate access to, build it out first. That way you can focus on your funnel and your marketing. That's enough to think about instead of figuring out how to populate the content of your product. So your funnel should start with your product. I love reverse engineering this process because it is much less stressful. So whether it's a course, a coaching package, or a physical item, it's really important to get that done to the best of your ability so it can be complete or have a really strong outline before the next step. So for example, my main product is my monthly membership, the Visibility Lounge. So this is that's my product, and then reverse engineering that, I've been able to create all kinds of cool stuff in terms of opt-ins and tripwires leading them into the lounge, my monthly membership. So after you do that, step number 2 is going to be creating the opt-in. So we're kind of going from the end to the beginning. There's a method to my madness, I promise. The great thing about having your product done or outlined is you're going to be able to understand how to take a tiny piece of that and start that as the opt-in. So for the lounge, I have a couple of funnels to it. One of them is my color quiz. My color webinar is another one, the Hollywood personality quiz, and my visibility sprint opt-in, which is a master class. And when I first released the Hollywood quiz opt-in, what was really fun is the lounge is already built, and I built this quiz, and it actually went viral, which was really, really exciting. People got excited to share this quiz and to share their result and see what their friends tested as. So the opt-in was the first taste of people understanding my unique Hollywood spin on things, and then deciding if they wanted to move forward with the lounge to go deeper into visibility strategy. So your opt-in is the first taste that you're giving your potential customer of what you can offer. And this is the next step I want you to do in your funnel because this is the other side of that bridge, product opt-in. right? So since you've built the first with the product, the second's going to be the opt-in, and it needs to be in this market, unusual, intriguing, and exciting. Make it different. Don't just do a checklist or a boring ebook. Make it different and intriguing. So being able to do a 4-part personality assessment was powerful. People love taking personality tests. So if this is something that feels right up your alley, go for it. Make it unusual, intriguing, and exciting. Maybe you're great on camera, so you can give a 10-minute masterclass on a chosen subject. Have it be a tiny little taste that shows them how you can help them. Not necessarily who you are, what the product is, but how you can immediately help them. Maybe that's a webinar, a masterclass, an opt-in, a template, a Google spreadsheet, a specific process that you could export from Trello and they can one-click download. Any of these things are great ideas for your opt-in. So let's give an example. Let's say that you teach mindset, diet, and workouts through a 6-part group coaching program. And let's say that program helps stress-addicted single moms lock in a health-centered daily routine that they can maintain with minimal sacrifice. Pretty specific, that program will definitely sell. So now that you've identified your product and the results that it gives your clients, let's go a little bit further now and backtrack to the opt-in. For the opt-in, you need to give them a piece of what you do that will look different and exciting for them. So knowing your ideal client, in this case, busy single moms, they are stressed out and they have a lot going on. They don't have time to read an ebook. They don't have time to book a strategy call or to watch your masterclass, but they may just give you their phone number because that's the easiest way to reach them because they're always on the go. So maybe in this case, your opt-in could be a free 14-day text series where you cheerlead them every morning and give them a 5-minute stress-relieving exercise to do that day. Really fun, right? Hitting them in a place that not a lot of people do because it's coming on their phones as a text message. These are really interesting things that you could do with your opt-in to get people going, maybe this is the person that can finally support me in solving my problem. Making sense so far? We've got the product, now we've got the opt-in. So the next step is shaping out the email sequence. So many people miss this part and it's like, why? People have given you their first piece of trust with the opt-in. Now it's time to sell them on your product, what you've worked so hard for. So take it from me, don't let this go, do this next. So a great example here to think of is signing up for a marathon, right? It's new, it's exciting, it's a massive goal that you'd love to hit, and it's even easy to show up the morning of a marathon. The music's going, you got your Gatorade, putting on your fanny pack if you're anything like me, ready to go. But what's not easy is training in between sign-up day and showing up for the race. Because that means you have to get up every morning early, maybe like 5 a.m. that alarm goes off. You have to do miles and miles and train your body. This is where a lot of people fail when it comes to training for a marathon. And it's the same thing here. It's where a lot of online business owners fail when trying to sell their product. They put so much work into the opt-in and into the product, but they don't put in the email sequence. So remember how I was talking to you about the bridge and one side was the opt-in and the other was the product? The email sequence is the between. So you have to put this together. It is vital for success. This is your chance to train with someone and to take them from their pain point down the path to seeing the finish line of your product that will solve their biggest problem. So take your time and do this. Put your heart into it. It does make a difference. And the 3 things I love to do most in my email sequences is to entertain, to educate, and to elicit action. Give them some fun stories so that they can relate to you. Give them some painful maybe stories so they can relate to you. Educate them on what this looks like of changing their life in this little piece that you can. For me, it would be visibility and publicity, right? Giving them those action steps to make changes. I'm doing it with you right now. And last but not least, elicit action. Get them to buy. You have all kinds of different personality types who are reading these emails, and half of them they're more likely to buy on the spot and make a more emotional decision. But half of them are going to want the logic to understand why. So we have to be sending out these emails. I recommend setting up at least 7 to 10 to go out. There are people out there that do more, which is great. It's a longer lead up, so you're warming these people up. Maybe they won't buy this time, but they might buy your next offer. Really, really important. So make it 7 to 10 emails, and if you're struggling with it, it's okay. Just set to build one a day and you'll get it done in a week, get it over with. This is something that's easy to outsource as well. Okay, we've talked about product, we've talked about opt-in, we've talked about email sequence. So now let's talk about using a tripwire. There's lots of words for this. I just call it a tripwire. And this is a low-cost offer that comes up on the thank you page right after they opt in. For me, it's the visibility calendar. It's $7. It's easy. It's a one-click import. It's a fast win. The purpose of a tripwire is to turn someone from a cold lead into a hot lead / customer. Much, much easier to get them to upsell from this tripwire versus them just sitting on this email sequence forever and possibly not taking action. Once everything I've told you to do is already built, then put in the tripwire. Please don't do it before. That's just not fun for anybody. So this is something to think about because it's a great way to not only warm people up and turn them into warm leads, but also to cover your lead costs if you plan on using paid advertising. Making sense? All right, and last but not least, use the right software. You might be, in your first year starting out and you don't have a lot to invest. That's fine. In the beginning, I made it work. It was painful, but I made it work with Squarespace, ConvertKit, Samcart, and Teachable. So it is possible. But if you are at the point you are at least bringing in a little bit of income, I would highly recommend using an all-in-one software. I personally use Kajabi. But you can absolutely use ClickFunnels or Kartra if it's a better fit for you. There's all kinds of softwares that are coming out now as well. But for me, I set everything up in Kajabi, all my payments, emails, affiliates, everything's there. So it's really, really simple. And it's like 100, I think the first plan is like $149 a month. So once you write everything else out that you're paying for, it's really a no-brainer. So if you want to take that masterclass from me, just go to visibilityvixen.com/streamline. But otherwise, figure it out. Put the tech together. Do not wait on this part because when you start getting more traffic, whether it's through your visibility vehicle or you start podcast guesting, you guest on a summit, you, release a book, you get on television, you do a TEDx talk, whatever it is, that's when the floodgates start opening. And if you don't have this stuff done on the back end, it can be a huge nightmare. So it's better to have this in place because whatever traffic you do end up sending to your site, to your opt-in, you not only get people onto your list, but you monetize them. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So those are the 5 steps. We talked about product. We talked about opt-in, Tripwire. We also talked about email sequences and using the right software. So I hope that this gives you a little bit more of an overview of what a successful funnel looks like. I have had so much success from my funnels, not only building my income, but also my affiliate side income. So just know that this is absolutely possible. If you want more intensive studies into building a funnel and you want my support step by step, I highly recommend joining the Visibility Lounge. This is where that's what stage 2 is all about. We build funnels step by step. I review them. We make sure that they're working for you so that then you can start on your visibility vehicle and start seeing that success. So if you're interested in that, just go to visibilityvixen.com, join the lounge. Would love to see you there. In the meantime, I will see you on the next episode. Thanks for being here.